It's a big game because it's the next game. Like I said before, I'm really not paying too much attention to records, theirs and ours. I mean, I think the league is so competitive, and Missouri State's really athletic. Obviously, they've got one of, if not the best player in the league in Alizé Johnson, who's a premier rebounder. They're a difficult matchup for us that way, but we're excited about it. It should be a great game, a great challenge for our guys, and we've got to turn around and respond, right? We took a tough loss the other night at UNI, and we did the same thing at Valpo, and our guys bounced back nice, and so it's going to have to be the same thing. We've had to regroup. I thought we had a really good practice today, and we'll have to have another one tomorrow and be ready to have our A game. Because as you know, if you don't have your A game right now in this league, prepare to go home a loser.
This team's kind of hot and cold when it comes to being on the road versus being at home. What do you see the difference being the biggest thing?
I don't know. I mean, we obviously too, we've got 2 road wins too, in the league, and we haven't played very well the last couple of games out. And I give credit to the opponent. I think that the last 2 teams we've played on the road have played well in stretches, but I don't know that I have the answer. I think maybe sometimes when we faced a little bit of adversity or shots haven't gone in, and sometimes we've let maybe our ineffectiveness on offense affect us on the defensive end a little bit. But there's good teams, who are prepared and we're played very well at home. But I don't know if it's anything dramatic. We've just got to stick to what we're doing. But I think sometimes, we've struggled on offense a little bit at times on the road, that it's maybe affected us on the defensive end. And sometimes you just got to hang tough. You just got to hang tough on the road and things aren't going your way, and got to hang tough at home too, and just find a way to give yourselves a chance, in the end. And, we weren't able to do that.
Reed was kind of bottled up a little bit last game and seemed frustrated by it, but he just seems like such a classic leader that he can put that behind him. What kind of leader is he? He
is as good as they come, but like all of us, I think he's still learning. He's going to be at the top of everyone's scouting report. We've also played well in some games where Reed hasn't scored, and he's learning at sometimes that forcing the action can be the worst thing that you can do, and sometimes you've just got to let the game come to you. You've got to have the ability to create for others. We've got other guys who can put the ball in the basket, but he's grown so much that way, and obviously it didn't go well for him the other night, and I thought he wasn't alone. There were at times maybe some guys maybe tried to do a little bit too much, and that comes from a really good place, but it's just learning to play great team basketball. And if you've watched us, you know that we're at our best when we're really playing as a team on both ends. We're really sharing, moving the ball, multiple guys are scoring, but Reed's just having a phenomenal year, and he's an ultimate competitor, and he responds well to whatever happens to him, and I look for him to come out, and he'll be ready to roll on Saturday.
Has he gotten bigger?
I don't know what to compare it to, but
it just seemed like his work ethic, he's a good one, but it stepped up.
Reed is a really disciplined kid. You can just look at, obviously, he's got a pharmacy degree. He's a phenomenal student. He takes care of himself, on and off the court. He loves the weight room. He loves to work on his game. He's just a really competitive, disciplined kid, and he's strong. He does. He likes the weight room. I don't know where he was before I got here, but it doesn't take, a genius to look at him and say, hey, he's a strong kid.
One more with Reed. He's kind of starting to approach that the record for most points in Drake history. He hasn't had all the success in wins and losses, but what would that mean for him to maybe leave here with that kind of?
If you ask him, I know he'll tell you the same thing, that he's not. I think he's having a lot more fun having some success winning than that, and I think it would make it a lot more memorable for him, the winning piece of it. But he's not going to say it, but that's a pretty big time honor. If he's able to pull that off, we haven't talked about it once. I haven't talked about it with him. He's never mentioned it to me. I know people will bring it up, but boy, if that happens, that's a major accomplishment. Obviously, it just shows your ability to score, that you've been able to play early in your career, been productive, stayed healthy, knock on wood, and to do it the way that he has, being just the consummate student athlete. But it's something we haven't even talked about, and I won't talk about it either. And I know he is. He's just focused on trying to have success as a team.
How big, Go ahead.
I was going to say, now that you've looked at the clips, what can you pinpoint from Cedar Falls? What happened at what moment that made it turn sideways so quickly, and what have you been able to teach on that?
You know, sometimes I think it goes back, you and I is a good defensive team. There's no question. That's what they hang their hat on. We're a jump shooting team, for the most part. We've found ways in other games to get some easy baskets, to get to the free throw line a little bit. But I thought, Andy, when you watch the game, we did have a lot of good looks that didn't go in. I mean, we had a lot of really good looks. And I thought the key stretch in the game was clearly the end of the first half, right? We had a big lead, and then we really, we couldn't find a way to get a basket to kind of stop that run. And, we went into halftime giving them some momentum, right? They felt good about themselves going to half. And then the game was kind of back and forth. And then you're right, down the stretch, it didn't go our way. And we had to execute a little bit better on offense, but we also missed some really good looks, that had been going in for us. And I thought we got frustrated. And I think what we tried to show our guys is, some of the game plan errors that maybe we made in the second half or late in the first half that we didn't make early. And I think those a lot of times were a direct result of frustration, whether it's going for a shot fake, being out of position, maybe taking a quick shot when we weren't having the ability to continue to work the ball and execute. And but I've got a veteran group of guys, and I think sometimes we do that, and you always have to look at yourself, but I give you and I a lot of credit too. This was a game that was a huge game for them. They're very good defensively. They're hard to score on in transition. But I think that, there's some things we could have done better execution-wise, but I thought we also missed a lot of shots that we normally have been making.
2 games against the 2 teams you're tied in the standings with. Obviously, you said this next one's the focus, but how big of a stretch in your mind is this for you guys?
It's a big stretch, but I mean this. I mean, whatever happens, they all count the same, the 18 league games, and so whatever happens Saturday, even if we win, you got to go out the next night and play. Win or lose, this thing's going to go down to the wire. I mean, I haven't have the standings in front of me, but a couple games separate, you know what I mean, the top and the bottom. I mean, 1 or 2 weeks can change everything. And so I think you've got to do a really good job of continuing to try to get better as a team. And then you've got to do a really good job of staying even keeled. If you win, you enjoy it, you come back the next day. If you lose, you learn from it, and you come back the next day and try to get better. And so, of course, it's a big stretch, but win or lose, there's a lot of basketball left to be played here.
Playing it in front of the home court, how big is that too? Continuing to motivate the fans to keep wanting to come back and see your guys.
I think it's huge. It's been fun to watch. Just the vibe that I have in the community of being out there. People are, they're talking about it a little bit more. There's a little bit more excitement. Our crowds have gotten bigger, and I really hope and I look forward to having a great crowd on Saturday. I think the Knapp Center can be a great home court for us. Don't think that doesn't make a difference. The fans can help you. They energize you. They can be, that quote-unquote sixth man. And I had no doubt when I came here and took this job that people here will support, a winning team, a good program. And I think you're starting to see that build, and I hope we really have a nice crowd on Saturday.
Rivers' stat lines aren't going to blow anybody away game to game, but what is it that he does, maybe intangibles-wise, that help this team so much?
First of all, it starts with he's an incredibly smart player. He's our best team defender. I mean, he does a great job within our schemes with his team defense, helping each other, knowing what we're doing, communicating. He's got a great feel that way. Night in and night out, he's matched against, we're undersized every game. He's matched up against bigger players. On offense, he does a great job. Oftentimes he'll have a bigger player guarding him. He does a terrific job of within our offense of getting into the lane, creating shots for others. His assist numbers are high. And sometimes it's not just him getting the assist, but he gets in the lane, creates the pass to the next pass, or really gets us in the flow. And he's got a nose for the ball. He's been able to come up with rebounds for us. And so he's a huge key to what we're doing. And he's had some impressive stat lines, albeit not a lot of scoring. But he's really a huge piece to what we're doing. And he's kind of he's becoming a not unsung hero anymore. People are starting to recognize it because the team is having results. And the thing about C.J. Rivers is he's all about winning. He could care less about anything other than what he has to do to help us win. Those guys are fun to coach.